What's the scariest true story you know? This story definitely isn't the scariest in these comments, but another woman fell in love with my great-grandfather, and he was already married to my great-grandmother. So she came to their home with a gun while he was at work. When my great-grandmother opened the door, she shot her point blank. However, my grandmother, then 3-ish years old, was behind her, watching everything. I guess she concluded that she wouldn't remember, or wouldn't be believed, or simply couldn't shoot a child, being a mother herself, and thankfully didn't shoot her. This was around 1930. Forensics weren't very advanced. No evidence was left. The case goes cold. Life continued on, and eventually the woman, named Lorraine, got what she wanted. She convinced my great-grandfather to marry her. She had 2 children from a previous marriage, both older than my grandmother. I don't know what happened to her first husband, honestly. She told everyone exactly who murdered her mother, but no one believed her. Who would believe a kid who obviously misses her mother and is having trouble adjusting to her new family? People just thought she demonized her stepmother for replacing her mom, or maybe imagined it. It's an easy conclusion to reach, honestly. And so years and years pass. She grows up with her mother's murderer in her own house, sleeping rooms away. And Lorraine knows that she knows. She appears like the perfect housewife, swooping in and caring for the grieving father and child. My grandmother grows up tormented by her and her children. There was obvious favoritism. The stepkids are spoiled and she's the black sheep of the family. She moves out and marries my grandfather the first chance she gets. She moves on and has children of her own. 5 boys. Lorraine became ill and finally landed on her deathbed. And there she finally confessed to the truth and told everyone what she had done. I guess she was worried about the state of her soul. 57 years had passed since the murder. 16 since my great-grandfather had passed. He never knew the truth. No documents were ever officially amended to state that she was the murderer as far as I know. The authorities consider the case cold, still, almost 100 years later. It drives me nuts that my grandmother always knew. And even after she was an adult, people just said, oh, you had an active imagination as a child. There's no way to live with that knowledge for so long and have no one in the world on your side. Your whole family against you. That's what scares me.